Thing started. Morning, Jason. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Detroit Man. Jason. Good morning, Jason Skoll. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. There it is. Oh. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on, welcome all. It is the NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne, and it is the morning. It is 11 o'clock. It is August the 24th, and we are going into the last preseason game. Next week, we get to talk about real football. And actually, if I don't even know who's playing tonight, but Thursday night football tonight, I mean, those fan bases, they should feel pretty good about, their team after they play tonight's game. They don't have to worry about, talking about preseason and stuff that don't matter anymore. We're talking about the 53-man rosters right here. And we got predictions going on. Chad's got you 4-2 in the division. I'm not sure if he's talking about the Lions. He's got 5-1 in the division for the Lions, and the Lions at 11-6 right there. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for everybody that's watching in Mike the Bear fans page. Everybody, all the Packer fans that are watching the Bill the Packer fans page. Everybody that subscribes to the YouTube channel. And I want everybody to understand that I guess from what I'm seeing out there is that best experience to watch this program is through YouTube. And I want to be able to share that out as soon as I can get this thing open. I want to share out the YouTube stream so you can go over and experience that. And the best thing about the YouTube stream for us is that we can actually see all of your names for sure. So thank you to all of the people that are over watching on the YouTube rather than, any of the other platforms, because I like being able to see your names when we are talking with you. So, but there's 4 games going on this weekend. I know that the Lions are playing Carolina. They have already said that they're not going to be putting starters out there. They did a full contact practice out there, and there probably won't be playing any of their starters when the Carolina Panthers are going to play their starters. You say YouTube sucks. I look at this. I look at the YouTube, and I can see the comments a lot better. Everybody coming through. I like the experience on. I don't know if you like Facebook better. I mean, that's cool. You can watch it wherever you want to watch it. That's cool. I try to move everybody to the same spot. That's where we're going to be broadcasting our Detroit Lions podcast, which is going to be airing tonight at 7:00, and that's all Detroit Lions. But right now we are talking about the Detroit Lions. We're talking about this Carolina game, and it doesn't really mean much outside of roster spots, right? I mean, the very last of all of the preseason games, you know, I mean, they're not. How many people believe in the, putting your starters out there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, are we just taking too much of a risk for the injuries, right? The Bills are coming to play the Bears. What are you looking to see in that Bills game? You got Justin Fields. Do you want to see more Justin Fields? Do you want to see what he's going to be? Or do you want to see him rested on the side and see a little bit more of your Badgett? Let him get out there. Vikings playing the Cardinals. Vikings should be able to beat up on the Cardinals. You should be able to see some of your guys in that one, right? So are you looking to see any of the starters in there? Do you want to see Justin Jefferson come out and, play for a series? Robert, it's always good to see you in there. Good morning, bitches. FYT, go Pack go. Yeah, he copy and paste that one in there, but it is good to see that every single morning. You know what? Because I respect my enemies. That's why we do this show. I respect the fact that we got to play all you clowns in the NFC North twice, and that fanning hard is important to me. I think it's important that you follow your team. I love a Green Bay Packer fan that is all the way in on the Green Bay Packers because that's his team. He ain't trying to go to the New York Jets now because, I like they did Aaron Rodgers so wrong right there. You ain't fanning. That ain't fanning. I mean, you could be a fanboy of another player, but you're a fan of your team. And I respect that more than I respect the flip-floppers. Plus here on YouTube, you don't have to even bother with Facebook. I mean, I don't want to not bother with Facebook because there's a lot of good football fans here on Facebook, but I just want to be able to go to the place where it's the most comfortable for everybody to be, for the most part. And some of our stuff is exclusive. Obviously a lot more of the video stuff we put out on to YouTube. So it's a good thing. But I do like the Facebook pages. I love being able to get into chats with people. I love the NFC North, the huddle, the groups, the Facebook groups are really, really good. Sometimes they're a little lame at times with the comments and everything, but it's a gathering place for football fans, which is kind of like what this show is right here. Every morning we get here at 11 a.m. and we just talk football, mostly NFC North. And what's going on? I'm trying to say these names right. Sylvia, Larry, Adam, Mac. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Chad's got the Bears at 7-10. Samuel is in there. Said the North Division is going to be between the Lions and the Packers. I know in my own heart of hearts, I really feel like the Lions are on pace to do something special this year, something that they've never done before. And I don't know who the second place team is going to be. I just know that in my heart, I'm thinking that the Vikings have lost too much and that they're going to be in the bottom. So in my mind, I think the Lions are going to win the division, and I think that the Vikings are going to finish last. Now, the in between, that's where my mind goes, because you got a lot of new and moving parts when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, and more with just Jordan Love, being the new quarterback, and then all of the hype and all the offseason stuff for the Chicago Bears, where they got better. They did get better, but they did get better enough. I don't think either one of those teams are going to be able to do anything against the Lions. I think the Lions are leveling up. That defensive line is going to be something special this year just because of the depth in there. But the Lions and the Packers, you think that's going to be 1 and 2? That's not a bad call.
You like that?
The Packers are definitely the most complete team outside of the Lions as far as depth pieces and guys that can be in there. Jay, let's see. Let's get in here. Chad says Vikings at 6-11. You're not believing in those Vikings either. Jason MC says Skull, and I'm glad that we still got the Viking fans that are still on here. Represent your team, man. I could be full crap. Week 4, I could be apologizing, going, oh man, look at these 4-0 Vikings. I don't know, but I get paid the big bucks to come out here and give you my opinion. So, but here's the guy that makes the real big bucks. Emmy Award nominee, Main Event Mike. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Ross. I love that you're talking about the Vikings. I read a great article. You want to hear about it?
Sure.
The article was about the Brian Flores experiment so far in Minnesota. And I honestly, I want to walk back some of my comments that I made before training camp, how this Minnesota team will finish last in the division. I know you're on record as saying they won't win a single division game this year. I'm going to walk my comments back after reading some of the things that I've read about the training camp. The offense for the Minnesota Vikings, we all know a very high-powered offense that they've got, a steady-hand quarterback. This defense is going to give quarterbacks like Jordan Love and Justin Fields fits, okay? The way he disguises blitz, the way he brings exotic packages, it's going to confuse these young quarterbacks. You take a guy like Kirk Cousins, who's as savvy as they come, he's confused. He is now figuring how he's going to throw it in the dirt, throw it away, and live to play another day because this defense just blew up the play that they had called. And this is what you're going to see from a Brian Flores defense this year. One thing that I'm worried about a little bit is they do a lot of blitzes, which means you're going to rely on man-to-man coverage on the corners. And I just don't think they have the corner depth to be able to hang with some of these teams in that kind of a package. However, there are some teams in this NFC North division that the Vikings will be able to capitalize on man-to-man and blitz packages because the receivers are either young, not that big, not that fast, right? There's a lot involved, but this Brian Flores defense is giving the offense fits. In fact, they said that the defense has won the battles in training camp exorbitantly more than the offense has won the battles in training camp. And there's also a concern that practicing against a Brian Flores defense isn't properly preparing the offense for what they're going to see on your average Sunday in the NFL, right? With all these exotic packages, how do you then get ready for a traditional 3-4 or 4-3 or know that your plays that you're drawing up are going to work against that? So it's kind of a give and take. The offense is suffering. They're really having, but this team, Kevin O'Connell's got exactly what he asked for. He wanted a coach that would motivate these players, bring a level of aggressiveness and intenseness to practice that's going to translate to the games. And the Minnesota Vikings, with that high-powered offense, they could be in the hunt for this division. Brian Flores might be the piece that puts them over the top to win this division. And I didn't see that coming, and I'm going to walk those statements back. I know a lot of our Minnesota Viking fans are going to be like, yeah, I told you so. But Definitely an article worth reading. That article is on ESPN if you search Minnesota Vikings.
That's fine.
You like that?
That's fine. There's lots of nice articles that are out there about a lot of the teams that are up and coming. There's 32 teams that are out there thinking that all of the moves that they made in the offseason are the greatest moves in the world, including our Detroit Lions in here. So, I look at that team and they've lost so much on the defensive side of the ball. I just can't see coaching and schemes. Like, is Brian Flores really that good? Then why couldn't he keep stay as a head coach? And, I don't know. I'm not buying into it all that much.
8 games in a row down the stretch in Miami and got fired because the owner was colluding to bring Sean Payton and Tom Brady to town. That's the only reason Brian Flores lost that job. And thank goodness for Mike Tomlin for giving this guy another chance and keeping him in the league while he undergoes a lawsuit. And now comes in as a defensive coordinator of the Vikings. And this guy is special as a coordinator. He does, he'll line a linebacker up over the nose tackle. He'll bring a safety in on the line of scrimmage. And then by the time the ball is hiked, all of that has changed because it's a counter to today's modern NFL, who they change the play 2 times before the ball is snapped based on what the defensive alignment is, right? They have enough time on the play clock to snap the ball and make a couple of adjustments. But with Brian Flores, you don't know what you're getting. You think you know what you're getting. And the play you just audibled into is the play he set that defense up for, and now you're screwed. So it's definitely going to keep offensive coordinators guessing. And there's a lot more to it than I think I gave the Vikings credit for pre-training camp.
Yep, and Brian Flores left that job, and he went and became defensive coordinator of linebackers coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he's the defensive coordinator. Okay, I mean, like I said, you can fluff it up, man. Fluff it up. You want to make some Minnesota Viking fans? That's fine. You can sell it, but you can sell it in Minneapolis because
I had them winning 5 or 6 games. I'm saying they could win 9 or 10.
Jason MC, well, we want to know what you think out there. I mean, is there any validity to this? We've been running the Minnesota Vikings through the mud the entire offseason, and this is a classic turnaround on Mike. He read an article and he's completely going back on all the stuff that he said. Now we got a 9 or 10 win Vikings team. They're going to compete.
It wasn't just an article. It was interviews with several players on the Vikings offense. Justin Jefferson said, I'll tell you what, playing against this defense in practice, when we come up in the preseason game against another team, I'm able to read the defense so much easier than I was last year. I know exactly what the defense is going to do because we've been educated by our own defense in training camp, something that Ed Donatell's defense did not do. They did not heighten the offense's IQ of how defenses work by practicing against them every week. And that's what's happening now, which could make their offense even more dangerous.
And that's fine right there. And that's what's great about our show. We don't have to agree on every single thing that's out there. I personally believe that defense isn't going to be doing much against anybody this year. But when you're the 32nd ranked defense overall, I mean, if you become the 29th ranked defense, well, I guess that's better. And if that offense is better, I can see the validity or I can see the power behind what you're saying. I'm just not gonna buy it.
You like that?
So
I get it. It's just talk.
And Chad says, stop kissing skull ass. Hey, we don't all have to agree. I gave the Green Bay Packers some props. I think that on yesterday's show,
I realized it was Chad that said that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Stop kissing skull ass, Mike. You got it, Chad. Sorry. And today's skull acronym is so Quezzy's obviously loony.
Woody says that you can have the best defensive coach, but it's all about the personnel. And I mean, really, when we're comparing Brian Flores, is Brian Flores better than Aaron Glenn?
The jury's still out on that.
because here's where we're at. Like the jury's still out, but a lot of people like Flores in the Glenn camp. He got head coaching offers last year after rostering the 29th ranked defense. So obviously people know that he can be a good defensive coordinator. But what was Aaron Glenn's problem in the first 2 years in Detroit?
Personnel.
So to Woody's point right here, I mean, Brian Flores may be the guru genius of all time, but this is the NFL, and offensive coordinators know where your weak guys are, and they attack them. We're going to get that guy all day long. They're going to find different schemes and matchups because this one guy can't cover. Now, it's maybe all these guys will get together. Maybe all these, these younger players that nobody knows are all going to come together and be great for the Minnesota Vikings. But you got a proven defense in Green Bay. They started out slow last year, and they were able to pick it up by the end of the year. And they're returning all of those guys. They're going into another year of continuity with their defense. So I don't know. I like at least somebody came in and defended the Vikings that wasn't a Viking fan. So no, Russell Wayne Mettler, keep doing it until it's my time to shine brighter. Justin Jefferson was jammed, and time and time again against the Cards defense, he was grilled by their corners.
Right, but you would sacrifice half your team to get him if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Justin Jefferson isn't the best. He's the best wide receiver in the league right now. I mean, you can argue top 3, but he's in the conversation.
But on this Brian Flores thing, Russ, won't you at least admit that maybe, just maybe, Brian Flores could be enough to get an extra 2 wins in the season?
Sure. I mean,
with their personnel, not having Brian Flores would translate to 2 more losses for not having him because their personnel is so depleted.
Okay, can I if I can play that game, can I go to the other side and say that I think that their offense is going to take 2 games step back at least, because they're not going to win 10 games or whatever by less.
Fair.
So maybe Brian Flores can get a couple of those games back, but you ain't winning 13 games again. And you are going to take a step back without Dalvin Cook. I don't care. You don't got Ty Chandler is not Dalvin Cook. Alexander Madison is not Dalvin Cook. Dwayne McBride is not Dalvin Cook. That is a loss that you guys are going to feel. Justin Jefferson is going to feel that loss. And you can't just expect Addison to jump right in and boom and take Thielen and just take all of those numbers. And, Hawkinson, I mean, he's trying not to practice as much as he can. It seems like there's a couple of fires that are in Minnesota to go beyond before we're going to talk about how Brian Flores is going to scheme his way with a bunch of.
That's a great point. Losing Dalvin Cook, Brian Flores isn't going to help that.
Right. So, I mean, but, I know that the Viking fans just going to tell you, Alexander Madison's just going to step right in and he's Dalvin Cook now. It's like, gosh, the rest of the world lives in reality. And, like I said, I might come in here week 4 and I might have to be, I might have to write a written apology up on the screen to all Skull fans and being like, oh, I was wrong.
Brent says, I thought the Vikings lost a lot of guys on the defense. They did, Brent. In fact, 7 starters gone on the defense.
And the new guys just, you can't teach chemistry. It has to be there. Tom Brady Stan, #GOAT, says if Jordan Love performs, Packers can win the division. It's up to him, though. I don't know, man. I like that call.
You like that? I don't think it's anything you can argue with if Jordan Love performs, because they've got a great running game, a good defense, a decent offensive line. Everything is there. All they need is quarterback play, and they're real contenders to win this division. I mean, but to Tom's point here, if Jordan Love performs better than Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers did last year, Packers can win the division. It's up to him, though. Yeah, that's a pretty high bar for Jordan Love, a young player, to reach. Can you outperform Aaron Rodgers? Your team finished with 8 wins with Aaron Rodgers. How much does Jordan Love have to perform to get to 8 wins? And can he exceed that? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Even Aaron Rodgers only won 6 games in his first year, Tom.
Yeah, and you're right. The premise to what you're saying, it is all up to him, but I think that the line is different than what you think it is. A lot of people are like, well, as long as he isn't bad, then they're going to win all these games. It's like, no, if he's average, you guys are going to win 5 games. Because with a down Aaron Rodgers, which is better than 80% of the other quarterbacks that are in the league, a down year, you won 8 games with Aaron Rodgers. So if he's just average, and there's no way that you're going to tell me that an average Jordan Love is as good as Aaron Rodgers. So if he's average, you guys won 8 games last year. So he's going to have to be better than average. And that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for your 3rd Hall of Fame quarterback, because that's what you do, is you develop quarterbacks, right? So
don't get me started.
Yeah. So that's the question right there. If Jordan Love performs, how well does he have to perform? I think that he has to be good. I think that he has to play in the top 16 quarterbacks in the league. He's got to be in the top half of the league as far as quarterbacking goes, or you guys are going to be in trouble this year. There's a video on JJ and the Cards shutting him down and jamming him at the point of attack. Yes, Justin Jefferson has been covered before. He has had a bad game before, like every other superstar in this league.
Jason's a Packer fan, so he loves you.
So I remember last year when Jeff Okudah shut down Justin Jefferson. Do I think that Jeff Okudah is the greatest cornerback in the world for doing that? Or am I worried about Justin Jefferson? It happens. Sometimes they throw the bracket on, and then you got a guy covering them. And, look at the other stats in the games when those guys are getting shut down. So
interesting. I know you just had a fantasy draft a couple of days ago. Was Justin Jefferson the first player taken?
Well, we have ours is a keeper league.
Oh,
so he was definitely kept.
Keeper league.
Right. Yeah, right. Mini Choka. All right, there we go. Money at
Robert.
Going to be hard for the Pack Turds finding W's this season. Okay. Moneyappolis is going to come on here in a few. I have a feeling when I throw the link out, he's going to be one of them that pops on here after you and I are done.
Going to be hard for Pack Turds finding W's this season. God damn it.
That's a good Jameis impression.
You like that?
Oh, Vikings are going to be in a shootout in a lot of games this season because of their offense.
Just like last year.
Yep. And they're going to have to be. And if you're optimistic as a Viking fan, you're going to want to average 35 points a game, and your defense is going to give up 30. That's what you're hoping for. But man, I don't know. It's hard to win without a really good defense. If your defense doesn't step up.
Right. And if you're low on personnel, you better have a crafty defensive coordinator. And I think that's what they have. And I think that's going to offset. It's going to mitigate that a little bit.
Rodgers sucked last year. I mean, that's a popular thing for Packer fans to.
You guys are the most unloyal fans I've ever seen in my life.
Do you remember the 3-week window when he was going to get traded, not getting traded, watching all those Packer fans try to change their take every 5 minutes? Oh, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Oh no, Aaron Rodgers sucks. Oh no, Aaron Rodgers. Of course he's the best quarterback in the league. Well, I don't know if he's the best quarterback in the league. Oh, he's a diva, but he's the greatest. And it was that weird thing. But after they traded him, everybody
now they all hate him.
Yeah, now they all hate him. 8 wins isn't a huge mountain to climb. Gosh, man, you guys are going to have a hard time if you ever go to the basement, because you just think 8 wins is a nothing thing. And it is hard to win in the NFL. And when you're a Lions fan, you've been losing for so long. It's like, and you know what? Make fun of us. Go ahead, throw those into the comments. Same old Lions, all that stuff. You guys aren't used to winning. But here's the thing is you guys are so used to winning that I would think that, 2 losing seasons in a row, you're going to lose half your fan base because they don't know what to do. I don't know. I mean, what are you guys going to say if you're 6-9 with 6-9-1 with Rodgers? Stop it. What
I said, he had 6 wins his first year. What do you want me to stop? The truth? I'll stop the truth if you want, Robert. Okay, Green Bay could win 10 games this year. I'll stop the truth.
And what we're saying is that it was domination. It's domination. Now you guys want to play both sides. It's like you dominated the division with Aaron Rodgers.
They're spoiled. 30 years of quarterback play. They're entitled and spoiled. And to them, 8 wins isn't a huge mountain to climb.
And it's like, what happens if he's not Aaron Rodgers good? You've been spoiled with it. He didn't have Rodgers did not suck last year. He had a average year. And he's still ranked as one of the best quarterbacks in the league at 39 years old. You guys had a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, we're giving him credit. We're giving you credit for dominating. I see little memes out there with the Green Bay Packers walking a lion because you've owned the division. You've owned the Chicago Bears.
Robert, you are so lucky it's not Monday. I would be going off right now. Rodgers sucked last year. Your team led the league in dropped passes. Led the league in dropped passes. Don't tell me Aaron Rodgers sucked. Come on.
Yeah, he may have had some of his players that let him down in day one. Jason says, everyone forgets that we brought it, Rich B, to get our special teams back to snuff. Packers are getting better in that department.
I hope so, since you lost a couple of championship games as a result of those special teams deficiencies. I hope you're getting better in that area.
And Brent says that Flores likes to blitz a lot. Yes. To answer that question, yes, he blitzes and blitzes and blitzes. I thought that was the year he got hurt.
Every year is the year he got hurt.
Who's he talking about?
Aaron Rodgers.
My God.
That's been the Packers' excuse. Not that he sucked, but he got hurt and he was playing injured.
Russell says, why do you talk out your ass? It's really funny. The only people that think I talk out my ass is when I talk about their team.
John Dorn.
I think I'm pretty consistent and I'm pretty honest when it comes with these things. But I'll give John this credit right here. John is one of the people that never apologized about Rodgers. He's been on the get the Rodgers out of Green Bay train for a year or two right now.
Before last season started, for sure, he was like, let's get rid of this old bum and let Jordan Love play. That is what John Dorn's take was.
But you are one of the only ones, John. Nobody else I know that is in here. I watched everybody else in here change their tune. A-Dub's always pretty realistic about the Green Bay Packers in a real football sense. But you and your trash talking, John Dorn, you make sense less than anybody that I know on this show. But you are consistent with your bullshit.
I would like to get an answer to the question. Why do you look at me like that?
What's that? Why do
I want an answer to his question. Why do you talk out of your ass?
Because that's what I do. We have a horrible football analysis is what we're all about. And that's what we do every day at 11 a.m. is we give you our own horrible football analysis. Games are won in the trenches. With that being said, who has the best offensive line in the division?
Well, I think that's the Detroit Lions. But when you say the trenches, there's 2 sides to that. Who has the best defensive line and offensive line combined? Maybe Green Bay.
Yeah, and I think that it's Detroit and Green Bay. Like
certainly not Chicago,
not Chicago, and not Minnesota. No chance in that spot. But I honestly think our defensive line is going to be able to rival Green Bay's defensive line, and maybe not on the top, but I don't know. I think that Aiden Hutchinson's right there with Rashawn Gary. I mean, he had just as many sacks as any season that Rashawn Gary's had. And then, you got Lucas Van Ness, but James Houston had 8 sacks last year.
7 games.
In 7 games, Charles Harris had 7.5 sacks the last time that he played. Romeo had 10.5 sacks the last time that he played. Pascal, I mean, we're deep. We're deeper than the Packers on the defensive line. And there I am talking out my ass again.
Kansas City Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones. You know how many sacks he had last year?
I don't.
15.5.
15.5 sacks.
He's making $20 million a year. He signed a 4-year, $80 million contract. At the time, he was the highest paid defensive tackle in the league. He's in the last year of that deal, and he is now the 8th highest paid defensive tackle in the league. And that's why he's threatening to hold out. He's losing $50,000 a day for not being in camp, and he will lose approximately $1.2 million per game for every game that he sits out. So when you talk about the game is won in the trenches, they're paying those guys because the game is won in the trenches. And it's going to be interesting to see if Chris Jones is available week 1. Maybe our Detroit Lions can sneak in there and get a win.
That would be nice. That would be nice. A-Dub's in here, and he says that at the time Aaron Rodgers had his first full season starting, he didn't have a top-rated defense, and he had established wide receivers, but they didn't know how to win with Rodgers. So
you like that?
I always love the logical takes of A-Dub right there. I like that take right there.
And what does that mean? Win with Rodgers. That means your quarterback's a diva, and the play you just called, he went, nah, I don't like that play. We're going to call this play instead. That's what that means. And Nathaniel Hackett's offense gives him that freedom, and that's why he loves it, and that's why they're both in New York.
John says Alexander exposed Jefferson.
Good God, can we just leave it alone? Yes, he had one game where he dominated him. The other game, JJ dominated him. And these two have been jawing over and over and over again all offseason. It's going to be awesome. October 29th when they face off. But these Packer fans, I mean, they bring that up more than the Bears fans bring up 1985.
What? Oh, my God.
We've had enough of that shit.
We definitely have right there. But that's John. John, you got to expect that from John right here. And here's another Packer fan. Jason says, blitz can only get you so far in a game, and it isn't always effective, and you get burned by molten lava. Yeah, you can. I mean, that's deep.
Man, burned by molten lava. How dramatic is that? I mean, when you've got Andrew Booth over there covering one-on-one because your defense is blitzing and he's stuck out there one-on-one with Justin Jefferson, that's some molten lava for you right there, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, and the blitz will get you too. Like if the blitz doesn't work and you got a guy that, you know, or you have a running back that can pick the blitz up and it just gets picked up, you have one less defender out there, which takes a guy like Kirk Cousins or a guy like Jared Goff, regardless of what you think of noodle arm Goff or you like that Kirk Cousins. Those are the types of quarterbacks that will eat you for breakfast if you blitz a guy and it gets picked up. All you got to do is pick it up, and there's a wide open guy running.
But to Jason's point, and boy, I'm glad it's not Monday. I mean, the blitz can only get you so far. That's true, but it can also blow up a drive. It can blow up a game plan. And if you're not a resilient team with a savvy OC, you're not going to recover from that.
Sarah says that great receivers get shut down and great corners get burned. It's just part of the game.
You like that?
A Viking fan with some sense. I love it. I love going out there, and it's a good burn on John Dorn too. Roshni says he runs a 3-4 with a lot of slant stunts and cover zero.
Right. I'm talking about does he blitz a lot? Remember that comment from Brent?
Right. Gosh, you guys, they end up going fast. Let me see what else we got in here. Robert says he doesn't hate Rodgers, and that's where I really want to get with you guys. You guys do respect what he did. Just like, and I compared it yesterday to the Matt Stafford trade. It's like, no, I wouldn't want half of the fan base going over and being like, we like the Jets now because Aaron Rodgers is there. It's like, no,
it's my quarterback.
You're a fan of the Packers. I respect that about Robert. Packer fans equal Yankee fans. Yeah, with the entitled mentality like that.
Except that one is the largest sports market in the world and one is the smallest.
Oh, we don't know what it's like to only win 8 games. I mean, getting to 8 games is no big deal. To get to 8 games.
Pass the cheddar.
Pass the Grey Poupon. Brent. So, what is Mike thinking the Vikings will finish now?
I think 8 or 9. I'm gonna go on a limb and say 8.5.
Because you had him at like 6, 7 wins before, so now you got him at 8, 9.
I think Brian Flores, after reading what the players are saying, and this is what the players are saying. These aren't talking head knuckleheads like me and you. This is what the players are saying, that, man, he's making me better on offense. Wow. We can't even get our plays off. The script we write for practice is blown up by the first quarter. So if you're seeing that in practice, you might be seeing that in game time as well. And by the time the tape rolls out and they get to see what Brian Flores is cooking up with the personnel that he has, they'll be 3 or 4 games into it. They might be, and their schedule is soft at the beginning. So they might have 3 wins out of the gate. And that's going to put my 6-win prediction in jeopardy. So I'm backing it up. I'm walking it back. I'm going to say 8 wins for the Vikings. They still missed the playoffs, finished 3rd in the division.
And that's fair right there. I actually like your logic on that. You got your information on Flores, and you think that he's 2 games better than what you had thought. And
I think he can elevate lower talent and cause some problems for opposing offenses that will translate to 2 wins that I didn't see coming.
Okay, so Rajneesh says that Darnell Wright is better than Aiden Hutchinson. Okay.
Yeah. An injured rookie who's never played a snap. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Aiden Hutchinson didn't lift or work on his pass rushing moves or try to get better at all over his 9.5 set.
I got bad news for you, Rajneesh. Darnell Wright wasn't even the best available offensive lineman when you drafted him.
You're thinking about that Monday night right now.
Chomping at the bit.
John be acting like Jefferson didn't have more yards than the Packers offense at halftime in the first game.
Good call, Sarah. You like that.
Oh, I love that. And this is what you get. You know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. When John comes in with the stupid smack talk, people are going to give it right back to you. Like, we do like to argue with football knowledge, but sometimes it gets a little bit petty. Good morning. All right. Well, blitz us and see what Gibbs does.
Good call. But it's not that simple, Adam. We're not just talking about a standard blitz, a jailhouse blitz. There are as many as 20 different blitz packages that Brian Flores can implement. You never know where it's coming from, and you never know what it's designed to take out. If they somehow or get some sort of key, if TJ Hawkinson's over there being a snitch and saying, oh, I know what this play is going to be this. So they disguise a defense one way to blow up that play. It could blow up your drive and give the ball back to their high-powered offense. Now you're playing catch-up the rest of the game. That's the hope that Kevin O'Connell has to have in Minnesota, because it doesn't take, a genius to look up and down their roster and see that they just don't have the personnel to be competitive on defense at a high level.
Right. And if they're blitzing people, that means that you're going to be leaving other people on an island. And, the Lions, they may not have the greatest top end wide receivers in the world or the playmakers, but every single one of their top 5 guys being, in the Laporta, Gibbs, Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of those guys know how to get open. And if you start blitzing people, Jared Goff is a master at being able to find a guy fast. One of those guys is going to be open and he'll find the open hole. In
fact, picking up the blitz, Goff is one of the best.
So, John right here. All right. So let me finish this one on here. John says that Chiefs blitzed the living hell out of, what, out of Love, and Love did just fine. So, wow, that must mean that the Packers are going to be better than the Chiefs this year. I mean, we might as well just give the Lombardi right to the Green Bay Packers, man. I mean, they're not going to lose anything. I mean, Love is going to be better than Rodgers ever was, and they're going to be fine. They're going to not miss a beat.
So what's the point of the post? Chief blitz the living you know what out of Love, and Love did just fine. So okay, then the Packers should win 2 against the Vikings. Then is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I guess. Jason says that the question, what Chicago excuse for being a huge market team versus a town like Green Bay, and it hasn't been since the last century for a title?
What is Chicago's excuse? It's got to be all those Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
And the hot dogs with poppy seeds on the roll. Maybe that's it.
It's one of those holier than thou Green Bay Packer. We're better than you, so we're going to we're going to remind you of the history of what the history is. You sound dumb now, main event Mike.
I'm sorry. You're right, Rajneesh. You got me on that one. I sound dumb on that. I'm trying to make sense of some of these Packer comments.
Oh gosh. Daniel says that the Packers will be salty when Aaron tears it up on an adjusted contract where he took less to see the organization benefit.
Right. Shows up for training camps, working off site with the receivers. He's actually going to play at a preseason game, took less money. Right. He wants to win. He wants to stick it to the Packers with a trophy. No doubt. He's vindictive that way. I firmly believe if Tom Brady hadn't retired, Aaron Rodgers would have. But his own ego won't let him be on the podium in Canton with Tom Brady.
Well, if you're confident enough out there, I do want to know where the Packer fans are at when it comes to Rodgers versus Love. Who's going to have a better season this year? Is it going to be Jordan Love or is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? Who's going to win all the smack talking? Because either Aaron Rodgers is as bad as you say he is, and he's been holding your organization back for years, like John Dorn says, or it's LaFleur and Gutekunst that can't draft talent, and Aaron Rodgers has been carrying your franchise for the last 10 years. I want that. It's one or the other. Either Jordan Love is the truth and been holding them back with all that bad Aaron Rodgers play.
I love this comment from EJ. First time listener and enjoying you guys a lot. I live in the D and like the Lions, but I'm a lifelong Bear fan. I love this NFC North banter. Well, you were really going to love our show on Monday nights, EJ. You should come and see us. It's every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the NFC North open mic night. Oh, great graphic. That's why you're the maestro. We do a lot of trash talk. If you like banter, this is the place for you. If you like trash talk, it's Monday nights, NFC North open mic. We bring in all 4 fan bases and run each other through the mud. Thanks for the comment, EJ.
Boom. And I'm sometimes it's hard to keep up with all of these comments in here. Gibbs knows how to pick up a blitzer just fine. Yep.
Not as good as David Montgomery, one of the best in the leagues at picking up the blitz from the running back position. And that's going to bode well for us against Minnesota.
And he has David Montgomery as a mentor. And that's a pretty good pairing in training camp that's coming out of our camp. Adam says that those are great points, but I see us being more perceptive.
Being able to see the blitzes coming.
Right. A-Dub says expecting more from blitzing is expected for Green Bay, given a young core on offense that everyone will be looking to take our run game away and force Jordan Love to beat them, which I think he can.
A-Dub, why do you always have such a good take? What are you even doing on this show? You always have good take. Can you get a Kirk Cousins for that last take? That's a good one. When you're a young team, blitzing is what like that. That's what opposing coaches try to do to young players, right? Rattle them, get them off script. And he thinks that Jordan Love's got the maturity and the chops to handle that. So good call out.
Oh, John says, why are you overhyping the garbage Lions? Well, because they keep on beating the overrated Packers.
Have we even talked about the Lions today?
Oh gosh.
I don't even feel like we've talked about the Lions today.
We've answered a couple comments, and that's about it. I opened up with a little banter right there. Here's a slide for all my fellow Packer fans when the season is none and done before week 10.
You like that?
Oh, I love a pessimistic Packer fan. That's it's always the best to me. We are better than you. Win or shut up.
Got to be a Packer fan with that comment. I'm guessing, but I'm assuming. You're right, James. Your teams used to be really good.
Let's see if we got it in here. I'm going to go from the front back because I want to make sure I'm getting the comments that are just coming in. John be acting like Rodgers didn't already put up 20 something points before Love took over the game.
Oh, Sarah. Yeah. You like that?
Oh,
Love did okay after Aaron Rodgers left the game.
Yeah, and he's going up against the prevent
garbage time.
Defenses, garbage time. I mean, same thing, I believe, Woody. So Jason says, bear down, Mike. The Packers were terrible in the 70s and the 80s. It comes down to how bad the management and personnel. In my opinion, that would be the case for Detroit. For sure.
Can't argue with that.
And if you are an old enough Packer fan to remember, the down times before Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre came and resurrected your franchise, then those fans actually understand how Lions fans feel, because that was a good 20-year run. So we've been going through it for a long time. And
if you don't agree with that, you can kiss my Lynn Dickey.
And the thing is like you say it all the time. It's like the law of averages say that it comes around. It's like, that's why the history arguments, they don't mean anything to me, because I go recent history and it looks to me like LaFleur can't beat Campbell. They're 1-3 versus Campbell, and the other two teams are 2-2, because we did get swept by the Bears the first year of the Campbell regime, and we swept the Bears last year. So they're 2-2 there, and we were 1-1 against the Vikings in both years. So, and right now, recent history says that the Dan Campbell is better than LaFleur.
Yeah, and now, Lions fans can't hang in any kind of argument with history, right?
No, but we can hang in an argument with recent history, and what they like to do is they like to bring in the stuff that's older than that. But what's more, what history is more relevant? Like it's like the last 2 years, like Dan Campbell came in and took over a franchise and won 3 games his first year, ripped from the studs, and then improved a 9-win team, and then got a lot better in this offseason. So we'll see what happens.
Now they're favored in 12 out of 17 games this year.
And we'll see. I mean, they have to do it, because there's one thing that Lions don't ever really do is put together 2 really, really good seasons in a row. And I don't even know if you would say last year was a really good season. You would say that was a elevating season. You could see our young players were getting better at the end of the season, and now you stack another off season on top of that. That's good. And
that brings up a good point. We have to scrap that whole narrative of a Lions standard, right? That was a good season by Lions standards,
right?
And because like the Green Bay fans, 8 wins is a total disappointment. That is unacceptable. Get the quarterback out of here. The defensive coordinator's on the hot seat, and that was for 8 wins. Lions fans were like, "Woo, 8 wins!" So I get it, but we need to change that narrative, and the only way to do that is what that Packer fan said: win or shut up. So, and I think that that's fair. But to that Packer fan, I want to say, if we do win, you better stick around to hear it, okay? Because we're gonna not shut up. You think it's bad now? You wait until we win. This fan base is gonna go crazy. You all are gonna quit all these groups because you're gonna get tired of hearing the Lions fans chirping.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, it isn't even going to be the hardcore fans. The hardcore fans have been, doing this stuff out here trying to back up the team. John Dorn's been listening to Lions fans say this for 10 years and stuff like that. But what's really going to make you mad is when they do start winning, all of the fair weather bandwagon Lion fans that were SOL fans are going to start matriculating back. And yeah, I've been liking him for a long time. I just been, and now I like him again. There's my New Jersey. Like, it'll be just like that. And you know how it is. You had a whole truckload of them when Favre started winning games for you. All these old Green Bay Packer fans are jumping on the bandwagon, and those are all the ones that are going to jump off the bandwagon if you're bad. Oh, and we've been bad for so long that our bad fans like split. So there was two versions of bad fans.
And the SOL narrative, the same old Lions narrative, is on its way to being completely smashed. Another winning season this year. If we win the division this year, we can cross that off the to-do list. And I look so forward to that day when we don't have to listen to any of these alternate fan bases saying, "You've never even won the division since the divisions existed. What have you ever done?" Well, hopefully this is the year we can put all that to rest. And if not, we'll just keep on plugging away because we're the Lions and we're diehard fans here. And someday, and trust me, that day will come, when the Lions do win it all, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be so worth it. All the jabs, all the barbs you've thrown at us, it's going to be worth it. Now, whether or not you and I will be alive to see that day, I don't know. But I sure hope it happens.
Yep. And here's what we suffer from as Lions fans. And this proves it right here. This picture is the picture of PTSOL, post-traumatic, same old Lions right here. And if you can see in that picture, there's a couple of moments right there, the ghost face mask, the fake fumble, just the fact that Matt Patricia existed, bat out of the end zone. Like, I mean,
thanks for obscuring his stupid face.
Yeah, and for more great stuff, go to mattpatriciastupidface.com and you can look at
stupid face.
But we've been through a lot of pain in that, and we want to feel like it's over, like that. All of this waiting is over. So I want to get back on point right here. So Daniel says 3-1 last 2 seasons. So Packer fans, shut up. But Goff and was Rodgers' daddy for 2 seasons. So, Oh wow, there you go. You like that? Take that, Daniel in the house.
And him and Kirby Joseph had joint custody.
What is a realistic contract that Hawkinson should get? I don't understand how he thinks he can get and reset the tight end market.
I do. I understand how he thinks that, because he's going to go to a team just like he did last year that is trying to make a Super Bowl run, and they're willing to forfeit the future, and they're willing to forfeit the here and now, and they will pay him an exorbitant amount of money to try to be the last piece that pushes him over the top, a la Dallas Cowboys, right? Can you imagine if TJ Hawkinson gets on that Dallas offense? He might even, that might be enough to turn Dak Prescott into a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing is like in this league, it's when it's your turn, and he is a top 10 tight end. You can't deny it. You can't deny it with stats. You can't say, "Oh, well, you should fall down," like all the Lions fans. He wasn't that, he dropped passes here and all that other stuff, but he always seemed to put up numbers at points, and he is physically gifted. You've seen the talent flash. You saw it flash in Detroit. He just wasn't consistent enough here. He goes to Minnesota and he played well. He was a good receiver for them, and he should be a good receiver for them this year. And as a top 10 tight end, you're going to reset the market. It's just your turn. I remember when Derek Carr got paid. He was one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Okay. Was he the best quarterback in the league? No. But it's his turn to get paid.
To answer Brent's question, I'll give you a rundown of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. Who do you think's the highest paid tight end in the NFL? I'll give you a hint. He just signed this offseason. He's with a new team.
Well, then it's not Travis Kelce.
It is not. It
Is
is
it Darren Waller?
Darren Waller, $17 million. Is TJ Hawkinson worth that? No. Is Darren Waller worth that? Hell no. Second, 49ers George Kittle at $15 million. Number 3, Chiefs Travis Kelce, maybe the greatest tight end of all time, $14.3 million. Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert, the most overpaid tight end in the league because I had him on my fantasy team last year and he stunk. $14.25 million. Ravens Mark Andrews, maybe the best tight end in the league currently, gets paid $14 million. And it goes on, and TJ Hawkinson is not even in this list. And the number 10 highest paid tight end in the league is the Chicago Bears tight end Cole Kmet at 12.5. Would you rather have Cole Kmet or TJ Hawkinson?
I'd rather have Cole Kmet.
I agree. The Patriots at number 9 pay Hunter Henry $12.5 million. Would you rather have Hunter Henry or TJ Hawkinson?
TJ Hawkinson.
Okay, so $12.5 million Hunter Henry gets. So to Brent's question, what's a realistic contract that he can get? We just agreed that he's better than Hunter Henry at 12.5. So I think that's the floor, right? Above him is Dawson Knox at $13 million. Never proven anything in this league, in my opinion. David Njoku at 13.6. Never proven a thing in this league.
Better
Evan Ingram just got signed at 13.75, coming off his best season last year, but was absolutely a bust up until then. So I think a realistic contract is anywhere north of $12 million, between 14, what Mark Andrews gets, and 12, what Hunter Henry gets, because that's exactly where I would place TJ Hawkinson, between 5 and 10 in the tight end ranking. So between 12 and 14 million, to answer your question, Brent. That's my opinion. What say you? Put it in the comments.
Yeah. What do you think he's going to get paid right there? And I'll just piggyback off of what you were at, and I'll say that's on the high end of that. Those other guys at 12 million, you're dreaming if you think you're going to get Hawkinson at 12 million. It's going to be like 14 or 15 million, depending on whether they get it done now or whether they get it done during the season. It's going to cost more and more and more the longer that you wait.
There's no way he gets 18 million, which is what it would take to reset the market.
I would say, yeah, and he ain't going to reset the market. That's one thing. He's like, I don't understand how he thinks. I don't think that he's going to be able to reset the market either. I think he's going to be right at about $15-16 million a year average with a bunch of bonuses and crap on top of it.
With a team with a chance to try to win a Super Bowl.
Lions don't usually follow up a good season with another good season. Same old Lions. And that's it right there. There's the narrative right there. It's like, until they do it, that's what it is. It is what it is until it isn't. I can't argue that either.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
But what we can do, and why the Lions fans are chirping, is they see the progression and they just stacked. They just stacked again. I can't wait till we get into real to real.
I have a big announcement. Oh, Chad says 50 million a year for Hawk, Brent. That's exactly what Russell Wayne just said. I have a big announcement, Russ. I'm going to drop a bomb on you as well as the viewers. Are you ready?
Okay.
1 week from today at 11 a.m. Eastern time, on this very program, NFC North Football Talk with Russell Wayne, we will have a very special guest, a former NFL player, will be on the show next Thursday. And we're going to be talking about a myriad of different topics, but specifically we're going to talk about early retirement and why are some of these players retiring early. Corey Davis announced yesterday he'll be retiring from the Jets. This is the third player under 30 to retire in 2 weeks' time. Sony Michel and the Lions' own Justin Jackson being the other two. And this might be a trend that we see by this time next week. There may be another or two even added to this list. So it's definitely a trend, and I'm intrigued by it, and I want to know why. So I reached out to some friends, some more former NFL players, and we're going to have one on the show next week to talk about those topics. So tune in next week, Thursday at 11 a.m.
That's awesome. Yes. And that'll be an evening of that same day where we'll have the podcast where we're going to be reviewing the Carolina game, but we'll be talking about A regular season game. All right.
We're gonna bite a kneecap off.
Remix. I know that all fan bases, regardless of what team you root for, you got to be excited for the 2023 season. This is shaping up to be one of the most historic seasons in NFL history. Just the competitive balance that the league has built, the way that they've built a 365-day model. Hell, you and I have been at this every single day for 2 years. Even in the offseason, we don't miss a day, right? The main event, 365. And that's because this league has built a product that is interesting 365 days a year, even on the days it isn't.
Yeah, and we didn't think it was that interesting, but for some reason I turned on the camera in the middle of the off season in July and June, and there was still 1,000 people coming on to this program and watching talking heads talk about football. So football is king. There's no doubt about that. Regardless of whatever team that you're following in the NFC North, this is just great. A great time every single morning.
I don't know what that comment from Sarah right there. I don't know what team she's talking about, but I know she's not talking about her own team.
What's that? Which one?
Sarah, who says y'all allegedly have a top defense. I don't know which teams you're talking about, but I know it ain't the Vikings.
I do believe that there's a argument between Jason and Sarah right here. He will definitely beat your defense, and it's good enough. He has competition that he can borrow your margin for error.
Man, Jason, we really need you to come on Monday when I'm allowed to say not nice things.
And Sarah says she trusts Flores more than Joe Barry. Oh, that's a good one there.
You like that?
And
here's
that's
an interesting one. Running back Jonathan Taylor has been granted permission to seek a trade. Supposedly 6 teams are interested. Miami Dolphins have already made an offer, actually, to the Colts for Jonathan Taylor. And the Philadelphia Eagles, one of those teams interested in Jonathan Taylor. If the Eagles sign Jonathan Taylor, then their backfield will be Taylor Swift. You like that? You like that?
Oh, Taylor Swift and oh my gosh, yes. If you thought that was an awful joke, but it was awesome, put a like on this video. Can you please do that for us right there? Subscribe to our YouTube channel too. You know what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and
Emmy nomination right there.
Emmy nominated right there. It doesn't come free. You know, I gotta pay Mike the big bucks to come on to this show right here. And here you go right there. I wanted everybody to at least be able to get over to the YouTube broadcast if that's what you're doing. We do have a bunch of people over there looking at our YouTube channel version of this show right here. But how you feeling, Mike?
I'm feeling like I got to jump off, Russ. I'm having a ton of fun though. But I did want to bring up one more topic before I go, and that is Stephen A. Smith, whom I cannot stand. I know a lot of people love the guy. I can't stand him. If I have to hear him say LeBron James one more time, I'm going to kill myself. So, I can't stand Stephen A., but he did rank the top 5 NFC offenses this year, and this is his list as follows. Philadelphia Eagles, no surprise there. The 49ers, no surprise there. Dallas Cowboys, no surprise there. So those are his top 3 offenses in the NFC. And now here's where the surprise comes in for me. Numbers 4 and 5, Stephen A. ranks the Vikings as the 4th highest powered offense in the NFC, and the New Orleans Saints at number 5. Russ, what do you think about the Saints at 5 and the Vikings at 4 in an NFC ranking?
I mean, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, Derek Carr is
who's never won anything.
Well, Derek Carr is another underappreciated quarterback.
He's an underachieving quarterback. Big difference.
All right. That's cool.
Sorry, I'm in Monday mode.
I mean, I thought you were asking for my opinion.
You're right. I guess Rajneesh is right. I just sound stupid.
I don't know. Yeah, they're unproven inside of that. I mean, yeah, I guess there's part of me that's like, I think that the Lions are better than both of those teams, you know, and it is what it is, but they got to prove it. It's just like Robert says, the Lions got to prove it for me to jump into that spot. So if they think a offense that has a bunch of good offensive playmakers, on New Orleans is going to be good, maybe he can go in there and run that offense. He's been a game manager. He had a really good end of the season and took him to the playoffs a couple years ago and then fizzled out.
I don't agree with those rankings either. I would put Seattle and Detroit in those last two spots. I mean, you're not giving Seattle any credit at all with that running game, those incredible receivers, Geno Smith coming into his own. So I don't see how you can leave Seattle out. Seattle might actually win their division ahead of San Francisco this year.
So Chad's in here. The JJ going to reset the wide receiver market and get 25+ million a year? And I think that's a yes. I mean, he'll get as much money as he can get, and he deserves it. He's the best wide receiver in the league. He's the guy that actually should be able to reset the market and actually deserve the highest contract in the NFL because he's earned it. It is what it is, right? I'm not going to take anything away from it.
You like that?
That's it. As you should. Okay, these guys now we're Taylor Swift right there. Brent Adams coming in. There you go. I loved it. Oh man, LMAO. Y'all had 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterbacks and 2 Super Bowls to show for it. Brady has 7 Super Bowls in 22 years of play.
Correct. And fun fact, Sarah, that Tom Brady, Justin Fields, and Jordan Love all combined have 7 Super Bowl wins.
You are on fire today, man. I don't even know what to do with you. Oh my gosh. That's the Emmy. That's the Emmy speaking through loud and clear right here. Jason says, I am going to lie. I want to see Aaron Rodgers reenact Mark Sanchez butt fumble.
Butt fumble.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Oh my God.
Firm butt fumble. Sounds good.
Oh my gosh. Get a refund, Russell. Whatever you're paying Mike is too much for all that crap.
It's all good, Robert. It's 2 conies and a chocolate shake, so we're good.
And a Cracker Jack Emmy. Okay. Sarah says, when you have 30 years of Hall of Fame play and then talk some shit, then come talk shit. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't even know. You got they're going at it there.
They're going at each other.
They're going at it. I think I'm gonna get out of the comments right here. I can't wait for the regular season. That's gonna be the last one that I'm gonna put.
That gets a Kirk Cousins for sure.
But by all means, keep the argument going in the comments right now because that is great. We got Sarah and A-Dub's in there, Jason's in there, Brent is in there, and this is like a triple threat match. WWE style. There we go. But you guys keep it going in there. Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and you only got two trophies to show for it. Hey, Tom Brady's owned everybody, okay? Like, he skews everybody's stats. You want to talk about your greatness? The only reason that Peyton Manning doesn't have like 7 Super Bowls is Tom Brady. When you look at, the greatest quarterbacks of all time, that's why Jim Kelly doesn't get any love. I have no idea why he doesn't get any love. They put Dan Marino as one of the greatest quarterbacks that never won a Super Bowl, but he got his ass kicked by Jim Kelly 4 straight years in a row. But Jim Kelly can't get no love. There we go.
You're a Jim Kelly apologist.
I am. I've been out here. I've been on a limb for Jim Kelly. I like overachieving guys. You can't win it by yourself.
I got to jump off, Russ. I'm going to sign off. Is that cool?
Go ahead.
It's NFC North Open, Mike, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk trash. This is not a safe space, okay? Leave your thin skin at the door. We are talking smack with all four fan bases, but also every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it is the Main Event 365 podcast show. We will put it out on Facebook, but you can also find it anywhere where you get your podcasts. It's the Main Event 365 Detroit Lions News. Thanks for having me, Russ. God bless everyone.
Thanks a lot, Main Event, Mike. And that's awesome. Yes, we got that. We're going to be doing the podcast. We're going to be recording the podcast a little bit later on today. All Detroit Lions. And we do have to have our homering time right here. But you know what? It makes me feel good because, I came on here and I got to talk about a lot of the other teams. I try not to do too much of the homering on this part, but I believe in my team. But I'm also going to be realistic about everybody else's team too. Now I have a little bit of time. Mike actually stayed on a little bit longer than I thought, but I got 20 minutes or so. If you guys want to hop on and you want to have a football conversation with me, that is cool. I'm going to get back into some of these comments right here for you guys. Brent says that Goff had been better at getting further in the playoffs than either one of those guys. And yes, Goff does have some playoff wins. And I know that the narrative is that he got carried to those playoff wins. And it's so funny when you talk about the narrative between Goff and Stafford, because Stafford goes over there and gets it done, but Stafford gets it done with a way better supporting cast than Jared Goff had. And they had Von Miller, and Odell Beckham Jr. that helped them get further into the playoffs, and Goff didn't have that. But Goff does have playoff experience. He's had some playoff games. He's won a couple playoff games on his own skill when Sean McVay put Wolford in, and then he got injured and he was losing a game. Goff came in and won a playoff game against Seattle a couple years back, the year that he got traded. So I think that Goff can get it done. He can get it done. Sarah says, so if you know how hard it is and why you talking shit to us. Okay, man. I can't wait for this regular season. Let's see if we can get in here. We got Woody. Woody's going to be my voice of reason. What's up? Welcome to the show, Woody.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing better now.
Yeah. I usually have that effect.
When I come on here in the morning, I'm not used to having Mike on that long. That's good.
Mike doesn't want to smoke anyway. That's why you want to keep it between you two.
He's nice on this show. Like, he has at least one good go off moment in every single Monday night, because he just can't hold it back. And I don't want him to hold it back. But on this show, we do a little bit more of we want to talk. We want to talk about our teams, but we're running out of shit to talk about, Woody.
Are you running out?
Well, when you look at how much time can you spend on, your backup's backup that's fighting for a roster spot, and my team's really, really good because I just don't
understand. Like, I got cut off. Sorry about my connection yesterday. I don't understand the PJ Walker signing. 2 years, $1.5 million. But if you pass like he does in the preseason, the first two games, and the fourth string is outplaying you, why are you getting offered a contract? I was shocked because I like Bajent, how he's playing. I trust him if Fields goes down. And even Peterman. I would trust Peterman over PJ Walker right now. So that's my shock of the week. I'm not shocked at the injuries already. Like I said, Tevin Jenkins is hurt. How you can hurt both your calves is beyond me. I'm a little worried about Komet. We'll see. I didn't hear an update yet. But everybody's talking about moving Cody Whitehair back to guard and putting Lucas Packers at center. I want to see how Leatherwood does. He was a high draft pick for a reason. He was a bust at Las Vegas. So I like to see Cody Whitehair stay at center and see how Leatherwood goes. That's just my opinion on that. So, but I'm not shocked that Tevin Jenkins got injured again. So.
Yeah, and that's the risk, and here we are in the off season, and that's what happens. And all the smack that we talk throughout, some of these things start coming true. The depth things start becoming a reality thing, and you don't think about the depth thing until you need to think about the depth thing.
Right, and our depth at offensive line is that we don't have it on. So. Right. One person gets hurt, that means we got to start moving offensive linemen around like we did last year. And you can't gel if you're fluctuating offensive linemen to different positions like that. You can't do it. It's going to screw the run game up and the pass protection. And Justin Fields will be running for his life again. So we'll see.
And Nate Davis, I mean, he hasn't even really practiced with the team. So it's like, yeah, you need to get good with your guys.
Right.
And I do believe on the Lions side, that's why we spent $100 million on the line, because we spent over $100 million on the whole offense as a whole. I mean, they spent a lot of money on it, but it's mostly all in the offensive line. They want to keep the continuity, Decker, Jonah Jackson, Sewell, that is the thing that makes the whole thing work. Goff is good. I like Goff, but he's not so good that he can have a bad offensive line and still be good, right? Like, you have to with those types of people. And with Justin Fields, if he's not going to be dead, they have to learn how to work that out. Now, the offensive line was bad last year, and you still have DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So, I still think that if he can move the run the pass thing and move that needle a little bit to make people believe that he's going to pass the ball using those playmakers, he can still be dangerous without a good offensive line.
Well, to your point though about Goff, if Lions had a bad offensive line, that's where having a mobile quarterback is important. Now, if we didn't have a mobile quarterback with that offensive line, we wouldn't have won the one last year. We would have been 0-17. I just believe that. So, and like I said, we had a offensive line that gave Justin Fields 2.7 seconds in the pocket, and we won 3 games. So just imagine if we didn't have a mobile quarterback, we would have been screwed last year. So,
but the question is how much of that is him escaping the pocket and moving out of the pocket, and how much of that is him being forced to move out of the pocket because he has to and staying within the confines of whatever system.
I think it's 50-50. He's got to learn. What he was probably doing last year, and I've seen a lot of it. He was looking at this first receiver take, and it wasn't there. He would just take off and get panicky. So it could be that he's got to read the defense better. But like I said, I think it's 50-50. He was sacked 55 times last year. So, like I said, the big thing is that PJ Walker, I seen it last week too, is that he tried to turn a play into positive and he got sacked, which he could have thrown the ball out of bounds. It was the third.
That's it right there. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up to you, and I'm glad that you brought it up. And sometimes it isn't just the offensive line. You take a sack by running out of bounds 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's not on your offensive line, but that goes against your offensive line stats.
Right. Yep.
Sack. And, whoever the closest guy was to that out of bounds or whatever that was supposed to be protecting him, he gets hit.
And I wanted to say this too. I've been hearing this. A lot of people are messaging me about, oh my God, we got to play Justin Fields pretty much until the third quarter because we can't throw him in week 1 against Green Bay and expect him to throw all over the field. I'm like, no, you want to play. I believe that Justin Fields is going to play the first half on Saturday against Buffalo. That's what I believe. That's which it should go. But you don't play him the whole game. You got to think those other 3 quarterbacks that we have are going to be fighting for a position as well. Preseason is more for depth. That's just how I believe preseason is. So
I agree with that.
Justin Fields ain't playing the whole game, so get off my shitting back, please, everybody.
Yeah, and he shouldn't play the whole
No.
game. Honestly, I don't think he should be playing at all. I think he should roll Badgett out there with PJ Walker. I mean, maybe PJ Walker just needs some reps, but they need to fight that out. And really, $1.5 million ain't shit. So
No.
if he got $1.5 million, they can just cut that dude. And it's not. I mean, really, if Badgett wins, he should win. So
the thing is about this emergency quarterback. I read the rule on the House Hall report last week. Is that you're allowed to have 3 quarterbacks, but that third one is the emergency quarterback. But the first 2 quarterbacks got to be injured and out of the game. And as soon as they get medically cleared, they have to come out of the game, the emergency quarterback, and you got to, get the other 2 guys. But this week, I want to see against Buffalo. I believe that Justin Fields is going to play probably quarter and a half or the first half. And then Badgett's going to come out, and then probably maybe the fourth quarter split it between Peterman and PJ Walker. That's just my opinion on what's going to happen.
Well, welcome to the program, A-Dub. How you doing, brother?
Say hello to my little friend.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, A-Dub?
And it always seems.
Woody?
How you doing, sir? You let me see the shirt? Oh, there you go. See now we can get Russell the daily Lion show. Get his little button up there.
Oh my gosh, being all like distinguished and all that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'll leave that for the Packer fans. The Packer fans are definitely more distinguished than I am. I don't like. I like the take that was on Sports Center about the Lions like showing up, and it was like they're like having a party with your 32 people and all of them are there, and like Uncle Lenny or whatever his name was like the Detroit Lions, and all of a sudden after being the guy that shows up on the Harley and the leather, never dressing up and taking it serious, all of a sudden Uncle Lenny shows up in a nice car, nice girlfriend, looking all clean cut and everything, and they're like, oh man, Uncle Lenny, you look different this year.
Yeah.
Which Uncle Lenny's going to show up for the Lions this year? Is he going to show up and is he going to have a relapse?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That was.
So what's the news, A-Dub? What do you got?
Ain't much to say or speak of. Just been enjoying the comments so far as this back and forth between Sarah and Jason. I had to say, like, you speak about not having 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterback play to get you over the hump like Green Bay has, but it takes more than just that to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, sometimes
like I was saying to other people too, is that listen, Rex Grossman has as many NFC North championship as Aaron Rodgers does. Just Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl, and people are just like, yeah, you're right. That's pretty sad, though. But I know where that comment is about the Brett Favre, 30 years of quarterbacks, 20 years of quarterbacks. I wish the Bears would have that. Not even close.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny is that it is a Viking fans that are arguing against this, and it's like, I mean, you've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Like, you didn't have the 2 Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I just mentioned in the comment before about that. The Vikings have had plenty of serviceable QBs you could win a Super Bowl with, and I named a few. Guys like Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, even Brett Favre for a time played for that team. They could have won a Super Bowl with any one of them, and they didn't.
Yeah, and that's I mean, when you look back at the history, like we were just talking about, Tom Brady has ruined more people's history. Like when you're looking at greatness, that kind of gets overshadowed because there are a lot of great players that came through while Tom Brady was dominating. You know, Drew Brees is a great quarterback. Peyton Manning is a great quarterback, and these guys only got one title for how great they were. It's like, no, Tom Brady was like, you know, holding all that stuff in. So for Rodgers to get one during the Tom Brady era,
and you got to think, Tom Brady should have won 7. If Asante Samuel would have intercepted that ball against Philly, no, was it Philly? Well, I'm losing my mind. Giants, yeah, Giants. That game would have ended, and then the next play was the Plaxico Burress throw in the end zone. Asante Samuel ruined Brady's 7th Super Bowl.
But the thing is like all said and done, that they were in how many AFC championships? It's like, it isn't just Super Bowl. He didn't just dominate. It was just he dominated that entire AFC the entire time that he was there. Like, and you look at all the other quarterbacks that were on that side, you almost feel bad for them because there were some good quarterbacks from the AFC that are just going to get forgotten because it was Tom Brady that was in the damn AFC championship every year.
Yeah, if there were any other QBs I remember who had to get past Brady just to make a Super Bowl at the time, I know the other two were Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger getting 2. Yeah, I mean, it's when it's like that. I mean, John Dorn says the Patriots cheat. You guys load the excuses up. It's so funny. I think it's funny with the deflating balls and you know the filming the practices. Here's the God's honest truth with all teams. Like if you ain't trying to cheat, you ain't trying hard enough. You got to take every rule that they have and you got to bend it and push it to the limits, maybe even break them if you can get away with it. I want my franchise leader to find any advantage that he can get. If you got to push and bend those rules, then bend them and I ain't going to hate on him for it. So don't be making excuses, John Dorn. I mean, but you got a great franchise.
My thing is, I wouldn't even talk about that either. Like, there are plenty of teams in the NFL who cheat a certain way to get to where they need to get. Like, everybody says the same thing about Green Bay. Like, a variety of our wins we might have cheated on when it came to paying off the refs or anything else like that. So plenty of folks cheat.
Well, Aaron Rodgers did put his arm around a lot of referees.
But you know what? At the end of the day, because you know, I used to be on one of these sides, but I came to the point where I refused to blame referees anymore because you know I watched that game where the ghost face mask happened and then the Hail Mary with the Packers and the line. But what it came down to is you got to play better in the other parts of the game. You can't be putting yourself into a position where the referees get to decide the game. You got to play better than that, and you got to take the referees out the game. No excuses. Like, that was a bad call. I admit that, but it's not like they're going to go back in time and like change the record or anything like that. And, we should just give the Lions a couple extra wins. Well, they're not going to do that. So I'm not going to cry about it. And so Brady did win 7 Super Bowls. So that's my take.
I'm sorry. 8th. My bad. That was my mistake. He did win Super Bowls. The 8th one he should have won.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said.
No.
Okay.
My bad.
I sometimes I get wrapped into bringing comments up and stuff, or maybe
I got you.
Missed you right there. LOL. Sarah says that football is only a damn game, not a dick. Don't take it so damn hard. Yeah, don't leave your face. I would think that it was like Monday night here, and I should hit up.
Yeah, Russell. Hey, Detroit is going to finish in last place. You guys suck. How'd I do?
That's great. And that'll work perfectly for the NFC North open mic, airing every single Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Come on out and give your best digs. And some of them are out here today. Good job. Throw some digs in there. Just try not to be so personal on people. It's just football. It's just football. I like you as people better than I like your football teams. So,
Wow.
Oh, but you're in here batting for your team that has never gone all the way, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we're just bashing.
Just can't leave that alone with the Vikings.
And they haven't won. We haven't won.
Like we can always remind Vikings, how many years has it been since the last time you played in a Super Bowl?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. I mean, anybody. I mean, 2010, that's you guys, right? The last Super Bowl from the North. Anybody from the North talking about victories and love and life? I mean, if anything, it's the Packers that get to talk it, because at least you've won the NFC North more than any of the other teams during that time. But nobody really gets to brag championships or being great teams in the last 10 years. We've all sucked. We've all sucked.
Yep.
The Green Bay Packers have sucked the least. Okay. There. Oh, wait. There we go. Jason MC says, "Skull." All right. Eagles and Giants shut Brady down. That's all because of defense. Yep.
Screw the Eagles. Screw the Eagles. Screw the Eagles.
Well, they got after him. And that's what it takes to win championships, I think, is defensive line. You got to be able to get after quarterbacks, and you got to be able to protect the quarterbacks. Now, you can have great quarterbacks and average quarterbacks and win Super Bowl, but if you can't protect them and you can't get after them, then you ain't going to win one. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And we're getting petty in this thing, so I think I'm going to shut this show down for today. But I do like to allow Woody to be able to plug this show right here, so you can do it in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hallis Hall Report. Come join us. Come join me, Mike the Bear Fan, and Ken Dobie on Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesdays is 7:30 Central Standard Time. Sunday is 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, right before game time. So come and join us.
Very nice. Any parting shots for you, A-Dub?
Yeah, I'm also part of the Frozen Tundra Network, the show that airs every Friday night. Come join us at any time that you're available, with Bill the Packer Fan and also Nick the host.
Yeah, I like Nick.
Nick's a good guy.
Nick's a good guy. You're talking, Packer news, the injury reports, the breaking news, all that good stuff right there for the Packers. Go ahead and follow Bill the Packer Fan, follow Mike the Bear Fan, because we're committed to putting out content each and every day, 365 days a year for all 4 of the teams. So we appreciate anybody that's going to come out there and listen. And, the NFC North open mic, that is in every Monday thing at 7 p.m. And then me every morning. I love doing this. I love doing this in the morning. Let me find a little thing I could throw up here. I know it's not preseason game 1. Okay. But every single morning, 11 a.m., that's 10 a.m. in the Central Time. We talk football every day. And, we love having you into the comments and doing all that thing. And then tonight, Lion fan only, but we are doing our podcast. Available Apple, Spotify, 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to review last game. We're going to preview what we're going to be looking at on the last preseason game. So with that being said, God bless everybody that's given us a listen. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the content, the YouTube channel, and all that good stuff. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Bear down.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.